A very good morning to each and everyone watching Mama Gagasabo Television. Thank you for being with us. You're going to be with me, Kamika Gislen. Now let's go over the news headlines. Rwanda and United Arab Emirates explore partnership to deploy AI-driven farming tools. Bank of Kigali wins FAIR Award for excellency in transparency and financial reporting. On the international news, Tanzania urges citizens to stay home ahead of expected protests. Now let's take a short break to be back on the news details. Welcome back. Let's return in Rwanda. During her visit in Abu Dhabi for the launch of the AI for Agriculture Hub, Minister of ICT Musoni Paula met with Mariam Mahmeri of the UAE Presidential Court for bilateral discussion on newly launched AI for Agriculture ecosystem and its four landmark initiatives, including the CGIAR AI Hub, the Institute of Agriculture and Artificial Intelligence, Agri-LLM, and the Agricultural Innovation Mechanism for Scale. Both sides explored collaboration on AI power, advisory tools for climate-vulnerable farming communities with plans to pilot training programs supporting up to 1 million farmers by 2030. Moving ahead, Ambassador Ernest Rwamucyo presented his credentials to the President of Eritrea, Isaias Afwerki, to represent Rwanda in the country. During the ceremony, Ambassador Rwamucyo assured President Afwerki that Rwanda is ready to continue strengthening the partnership between the two countries for the benefit of their people. President Afwerki, in turn, thanked Ambassador Rwamucyo, assuring him of his country's support in his responsibilities. Turning to the next story, Bank of Kigali has been honored with a FAIR Award, recognizing its outstanding performance in transparency, governance, and excellence in financial reporting. At the award ceremony, Jean Bosco Rukundo, head of financial reporting at Bank of Kigali, accepted the accolade on behalf of the bank, a sign of Bank of Kigali's strong commitment to accountability and stakeholders' confidence. The recognition underscored Bank of Kigali's effort to uphold high standards of disclosure and corporate governance, setting the bank apart as a leader in financial integrity in Rwanda and the region. Bank of Kigali said the award reflects its ongoing dedication to transparent reporting and reinforces its role as a trustworthy institution working to build public confidence in financial services. Now let's take a short break to be back on the international news. Welcome back. On the international news, Tanzania's government warned on Monday that protests planned for Tuesday would be unlawful and amounted to an attempted coup as security forces deployed heavily in major cities. Princess Mugisha has more to this story.
Is that on the African news, where Tanzanian government warned on Monday that protests planned for Tuesday would be unlawful and mounted an attempt coup as security forces deployed heavily in major cities. Activities and opposition have called for government protests on Tuesday to enforce mainland Tanzania's independence from Britain, following the Rwanda suppression of demonstration during the election in October, in which United Nations-based hundreds were killed. The Office of the United Nations High Commission for Human Rights argued authority to respect fundamental rights ahead of the planned demonstration, calling for the lifting of the nationwide ban on protest and warning against use of excessive force. Turning to the international news, a renewed fighting between Thailand and Cambodia over the disputed border continues as more deaths are reported and thousands are depressed. Cambodia says 2 more civilians have been killed overnight, sharing by their Thai forces, bringing the total deaths on its side to 7. England has reported at least 3 soldiers have been killed. Both sides have blamed each other for the crashes, which have dared a fragile ceasefire brought by the United States President Donald Trump earlier in July. President Trump had at the time claimed a historical achievement in ending the border of conflict, with Cambodia nominating Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize for his role. Thailand and Cambodia have been contesting territorial sovereignty along the 800-kilometer-round border for more than a century. Concluding our international news, North Korea leader Kim Jong-un said his condolences to Russian President Vladimir Putin on death of the Russian ambassador to Pyongyang, Alexander. The Ukraine Central News Agency reported. The telegram was sent on December 8th, commanding and exposed the deep condolences to the Russian President, the leadership of the Russian Federation, and the bereaved family on the behalf of the RPK government and his own behalf over the sudden demise of Alexander Ivanich and the Russian ambassador to the DPRK and the KNCA, reported Princess Midisha Mama Ogwaga, Sawi TV.
As we come to the end of the news edition, let's mind the top story that we talked about. Rwanda and the United Arab Emirates explore partnership to deploy AI-driven farming tools. Bank of Kigali wins Fair Award for excellence in transparency and financial reporting. On the international news, Tanzania urges citizens to stay home ahead of expected protests. And this marks the end. Stay tuned.